summer night in Atlanta. Welcome to another
summer night.
hot summer night. I want to commend you on your coordinating your outfit today with your microphone cover.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know. I didn't
feel
mean
like
to.
This whole thing is very well art
Really?
directed.
You're right. My headphones too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I feel like I'm really slacking here.
No, you got dressed up.
I did. I'd get dressed up to podcast in my garage. It's embarrassing, frankly.
Shh, don't tell anyone it's a garage.
I mean my studio.
Yeah.
In quotations, my studio. Welcome to the Adam and Andy podcast.
Welcome, folks.
I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
I'm your other host, Sarah.
And here on this show, we will watch everything that Adam Driver and Andy Samberg have been in.
Literally everything, even if we don't want to.
Literally everything, even if we don't care for it. That is the commitment.
Even if we want to give up halfway through.
Even if we watched it, got halfway through, paused it, thought there was only 5 minutes left, and it turns out we're only halfway
45.
through.
Yes.
That is the commitment to this fandom that we are bringing.
That's true.
This week, we watched The Report.
The Report.
Starring Adam Douglas Driver.
Yes.
And we're ready to report back on it.
We are.
I am prepared my book report.
Oh dear. Was it
I'm ready.
7,000 pages long?
I got to tell you, this movie felt like it was 7,000 pages long. That's for sure.
It did.
Before we get into that, Sarah, I do have some Adam and Andy news. Would you like to get into
please
some
share.
Adam and Andy news? Let's just get right into it. I didn't spend a lot of time with the chit chat today. I was just like, I'm like right Dan Jones. I'm direct. I don't want to get it.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not it at all. Okay. So I brought some visual aids today, and listeners, I will post the shit. I hope I did it. I did. I think I did post last week's visual aids. If I didn't, fuck. I'm really sorry. I'll fix that. But I am posting. I'm going to post this to Twitter. So if you're following us at AdamAndyPod on Twitter, when you go to this episode, which is usually going to be pinned to the top of the Twitter page, these visual aids will be there, but I'll describe them for you in great detail. So Sarah, what are we looking at here? What are we looking at right now? What's our first?
At Adam on set in a black button-up shirt, and khaki shorts.
Looks comfortable.
And he has flowing long hair that reminds me of Gaston when he gets mad and his hair gets all whipped around his face.
Oh my gosh. That was very specific.
Very specific, yes. So
this is Adam behind the scenes of Annette.
Okay, Annette.
This photo was released. This is cropped, a bit cropped, because it was actually released. It was the announcement that Leos had won Best Director at Cannes.
Oh, okay.
So he won Best Director at Cannes. Now, I didn't know this, Sarah, but apparently you can only win one. Each film can only win one award, so no one can sweep it.
What?
So they gave Leos Best Director, which means at that point Adam was not going to be able to win Best Actor because they were going to give it to a different film. Now, we did also have our first woman win the prize for best the Palme d'Or.
Okay.
So that's pretty exciting. And then this picture came from the announcement that Leos won Best Director for Annette. And I literally could not think of anything else once this photo was out. Like, my mind went completely blank. And it's just this photo on repeat, just permanently seared into my brainstem.
Yeah, I saw you post this.
He's fucking beautiful. How beautiful is this man? I'm sorry, he's so beautiful.
Yes.
Wow. Anyway, he's wearing shorts. It's like I could go on and on. Like, I could literally do an entire episode about this one photo.
It's like his leg is popped.
it's popped. He's got the hands in the pockets. It's like, sir, what are you trying to do to me? Just standing there casually. I wanted to give us this moment, Sarah. I
Thank
wanted
you.
us to have this.
It's a moment, yes.
Now, the next thing I'm going to show you, which I'm pretty sure you haven't seen, are photos. There are now photos coming out from, because Adam is working on white noise right now, or wheat germ, I think is what is the
Wheat germ.
Wheat germ is what they're calling it on location. I think that's how different the films, they have a name so that people don't know what they're shooting,
Don't
although
know
we
the
all know
name.
what they're fucking
Yeah.
shooting. Anyway, Adam is on the set of White Noise right now, directed by Noah Baumbach. So we'll look forward to more Noah Baumbach in our future.
No.
I feel like this is like Adam and Andy subheading the Noah Baumbach podcast.
Oh my God.
So photos now out on White Noise. So we're getting our first look at Jack Gladney, the character of Jack Gladney. So let's. So this is. I'm going to start a little far away, so you can get a little far away look. So there's Adam,
Okay.
and
Where is he?
he's right here. That's him.
That doesn't look like him.
It sure doesn't. Let me get a little closer.
What?
So this is the look. This is the look for White Noise.
What? I can't. I don't. Did they like make him look like he's going bald?
Yes. So this is
Okay.
so the internet had some the rats had a little bit of difficulty with this image. They were like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" It's like we were all inundated with this like super sexy can't keep my panties on like images from a net, and then Jack Gladney just like came right in and just like cock blocked all of us.
Oh my God.
And I jest, right? Because he's an actor, he's taking roles. Those roles require that you transform himself. We know that. We're just having good fun here. But yeah, so apparently the look, and I'll back it up a little bit so you can see this photo's a little bit more higher quality, is sort of like a schlubby, middle-aged guy kind of look. Which if you look at the cover photo of the book, I guess that's kind of the way the guy is. But anyway, yeah, they've obviously kind of tried to thin his hair a bit,
give him a belly,
give him a little bit of a pot belly, and put him in some schlubby clothes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you think about this?
I think that actors should definitely like branch out and play different roles. Like I wouldn't want to pigeonhole him in like hot guy roles.
No, absolutely not. So, and you know what, Sarah? He can't help but be. I've yet to see him in a role where he wasn't somehow sexy, despite whatever it was that's going on in the movie. So, like, I'm gonna find myself attracted to this.
You will,
and I can't. I know it, and I accept it. And I'm willing to take it.
Yeah,
give it to me. I'll take it.
I think.
Yeah. So those are some new photos from the set of White Noise.
Nice.
He's got a very diverse palette of films coming out. He really seems to be taking a lot of different types of characters. So
I wonder when this is going to end.
What?
Like
this
career.
podcast?
No, his career. like
never. Hopefully.
I'm just saying it's going so like hot and strong right now. Like.
I mean, Robert De Niro is still a sought after actor.
That's true.
Matt Damon doesn't seem to be slowing down.
That's true.
George Clooney, actually, I haven't seen him in a couple of years.
I haven't seen him in a while, yeah.
But he's out there somewhere doing something. I think that look, you can't be on the top of everyone's, like the tip of everyone's tongue forever, but I think that actors who choose interesting roles, who really push themselves to do what's unexpected, which I think is what Adam does a lot with his career. Yeah. I think actors that do that have a long career ahead of them, that maybe they're not always at the top of the news item, but they're still putting out interesting work. And I'm sure like not everything he's going to put out we're going to like. Case in point.
Already there are some things I don't like. Yeah.
Not everything he puts out is going to be something that really speaks to us personally. But I think that he's already shown that he chooses interesting roles and characters that are outside of the Norm and directors that are prestigious. And, I think we can expect to see really, great work from him for a long time.
Yeah.
Unless he decides, fuck you guys,
He
I'm
will
done.
this he might. He might
I
be
don't know.
like, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna buy a farm. I'm gonna live out the rest of my days farming in an
Farming
orchard,
what? Farming
a pear or orchard. I don't know.
maybe. I mean, I have yet to. Maybe I would if I was going to say that he would be farming any orchard, it would be a rotisserie chicken orchard.
Oh my god, a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, you
orchard?
go out, you
Yeah.
walk amongst the rotisserie trees. You've got your
Okay.
barbecue
Yep.
trees, you got your lemon pepper trees,
Oh, that sounds delicious.
right? So, that's where I was told chicken comes from in any case. Anyway, moving on to Andy. Big news for Andy is that Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 8 is coming soon.
Yay!
So we did get a look at look at the poster, the teaser poster.
One Last Ride, title of your sex tape.
Right? Noticeably absent from this poster, Gina.
What?
Now, I'm going to admit to you guys, audience, I did not for some reason I just didn't watch season 7. So I've only watched like the first 6 seasons and it's been a while, so I don't know if Gina, like I know at one point Gina left to go do something else, but then I think she came back. So I'm not really sure. And I'm not talking about the actor necessarily, it's the character. No, she didn't die. Jesus Christ, I hope not. Tweeted us at Adam Andy Pod, but maybe direct message me because Sarah doesn't want to be spoiled. I don't think Gina died. Okay. But she's not on the poster. So I don't know if that's because something happened at the end. So I feel like I'm going to need to watch some kind of catch up before we watch season 8. So I know what happened. There's somebody on the internet who caught up, who caught us up on what's going on, right? Yeah. Somebody did. So I'm going to have to watch some kind of catch up, or maybe I'll try to cram in season 7 before we watch season 8. I don't know. But anyway, maybe Gina will make an appearance and they're just holding her off from the poster. I don't know. But we've got everybody else. Looks like
who's the
Cheddar,
dog?
even Cheddar, Sarah.
Have we met Cheddar?
Not in season 1. Okay. Cheddar is Kevin and Raymond Holt's dog. Beloved corgi, Cheddar.
Well, I have not met Cheddar because I didn't really watch this show.
Well, I do think you know what, Sarah? I know that you are taking a big leap by watching season 8 without watching seasons 4 through 7 or whatever.
Big leap.
So I'm gonna try
for the fans.
Do you want me to try to find you like a recap that we can watch? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody on the internet has done that. In fact, listeners, help us out. Tweet at us at AdamAndyPod. If you've got if somebody out there on YouTube really recap this shit enough not to spoil it for us. I mean, spoil like, ruined the show, but just tell us what happened. Like, there are certain things I know happened. I know Andy, I know Jake and Amy are married. I know that they've had a child. Yes. I think they had a kid last season in season 7. So tweeted us. Oh my God, Sarah, how much you've really not watched a lot of the show, have you? Yeah, yeah. Eventually they date and then they get married and he proposed. They propose. I don't remember who proposed to who, but I do remember the wedding because it was a big mess. And then it was one of those things where it's like, we can't have the perfect wedding, so we'll just have the wedding that's perfect for us. It was very cute.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I assumed they got together, but I didn't know how it went down.
I think it's okay for us to experience it as it happens on the show. I don't remember, and I've seen it. Anyway, tweeted us at AdamAndyPod if there's a good recap that'll give us just enough of what we need to know to go into season 8. And we can get Sarah a little caught up, and then we'll go back and re-experience it, like we're experiencing it again from the first time,
or actually experiencing it for the first time.
All right, so that is that's all the Adam and Andy news I've got for today.
I've got no news myself.
Oh, okay. Well, if something comes up,
I'll let you know.
I want to be the first to know.
You will be.
Shall we talk about the report?
Yes.
You,
Yes.
you said that enthusiastically.
Did I?
The report. I didn't look up when this movie. I believe this came out in
2019.
Yeah, 2019. The year before everything went to shit.
The year before. Yes.
2019. Sarah, I have something I have to say before we get into this.
Please tell me.
And I think I speak for both of us when we say that I think it's really important to expose shitty things.
Yeah.
Obviously, what our government did. Of course, this is a film about exposing the torture program by the CIA on prisoners held at Guantanamo Bay following the events of 9/11. Torture is absolutely disgusting and in no way acceptable in any circumstance, no matter what. And the government, what the government did is horrifying. So I just got to get that right out.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree.
Now, that being said, this movie was boring as fuck.
As fuck.
As fuck.
Like, I don't know how they could make something so fast paced and have such tense music, and the lighting was really intense, but the story, the acting, the characters, it was all very like
boring.
Mellow. Just
It lacked humanity.
It did.
And I think you pointed that out. Now, Sarah and I watched this together with our significant others.
Yeah.
And Sarah, I got to tell you, my husband was upset with me for making him watch this movie.
Oh.
He was actually angry not angry, but he was like grumpy. Like he didn't want to talk to me. He was like, I can't believe you, like, that movie was so boring and unpleasant. I mean, it's not just boring, it's moments of extreme unpleasantness sandwiched in between long stretches of boredom.
Exactly. And to be honest, I was angry at you too. Kidding.
How dare you make me watch this?
How dare you, Nicole?
Okay, well, I don't know how I can make things up to you, but I had to have sex with him to make him happy again.
Aww.
That was the only thing that could resolve this. Like my marriage was in trouble, you guys.
No.
Because I made him watch this incredibly boring and unpleasant movie.
I'm sorry. Wow, Chris.
I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
To make things right. All right. Yeah, this movie was boring. It lacked humanity. I think you pointed that out while we were watching it.
Yeah.
You were like, there's no emotion.
There's no emotion. Yeah. It's like, it's weird because like the subject matter would warrant a lot of emotion.
I have to wonder, is the point that our government is run by emotionless automatons?
That's what it felt like.
Is that it? Like, does anybody feel a thing about anything?
No, and the thing is, there were no characters. Like, everyone just said their lines just very straightforwardly.
I feel like they had to do some kind of spell casting on Adam Driver to repress his intensity and depth.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he was
moments
bad.
He had passion, but like
when he yelled, I sat up.
I know
and took note.
I know. Yep, you just perked right up.
Perked right up. I'm not saying people were not good actors in this movie.
They were,
but I think they were. It felt like they were directed to like keep it deep down inside.
Well, one of my notes is that I feel like they could have cast literally anyone in any of these roles. Like if they had taken nameless actors that we haven't heard of before, like I would have been more entertained because I wouldn't have had all of their
expectations.
Previous work stuck in my head. Like, oh, I've seen him from that show. Oh, I've seen her on that. Like, that's what was happening when I was seeing these actors. Like, I wasn't paying attention to the story. I mean, I was paying attention
I didn't know
to the story,
what
but
half the time they were just like shooting a lot of facts at me. It was a movie
facts,
of all exposition. The movie was
exposition.
all
Yes.
exposition. Look, Adam was still sympathetic. Actually, let's start there. Do we like Dan Jones? And again,
Yes.
audience, I want you to know that we are not talking about what occurred in real life. Obviously, everyone should know what happened. This information should be out there, and we should be very transparent about what occurred. And everyone who was involved with this disgusting program, there should have been some kind of comeuppance for that. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I am talking specifically about characters in this movie. I'm talking about a motion picture. I'm talking about filmmaking. I'm talking about characters. I'm not making a commentary on the real people involved. Do we like Dan Jones, the character?
I like the idea of him.
I think that's fair. I do think Adam managed to still make him sympathetic despite being very subdued.
Very subdued, yes.
It was. I feel like there were moments where a little bit like humanity was trying to escape from his pores.
Yes.
I feel like the cords in his neck were working very hard to express emotions that the rest of his body was not allowed to do.
Yeah.
And so again, it's like even in a movie where there are the like Annette Bening and John Hamm, and it's like I love these actors, and I will probably forget who was in this movie in like a week, except for Adam Driver. But Adam Driver still, despite everyone in this movie being so detached, I felt like detached.
Detached, yeah.
He still had, I think, sympathy and pathos, and I feel like you could still see the internal conflict going on, even if everything was like very.
It was much less than the rest of his films, though. Like it
Sure.
it was there, but it was like you're right. It was less there in this one.
And I don't think everything needs to be at 11. We don't need Toby like screaming at us in every movie. Yeah. We don't need Adam Sackler like levels of. We don't need this in every movie.
Yeah.
It's okay to pull it back, but I'd like to compare this with a movie like Patterson, which unfortunately you haven't seen, but when we get there, I feel like Patterson is a really gentle character who's and his performances really it's not big, it's not very big out there, but there's still a lot of emotion. And I feel like this movie it lacked emotion, it lacked humanity to me. And I feel like they tried to explain that was just how things had to be. Right?
Yeah.
Like Dianne Feinstein says, like, you can't get emotionally involved in this case.
How can you not? If that's like your job for years and that's like all you do, how can you not get emotionally involved?
Well, he did, is the thing.
Yeah. The thing that I didn't like about it as well is that I think I would have enjoyed it more if they would have had more about him as a person.
Exactly.
Like him going home.
What was it like for him to wrestle with this at home?
Yeah, exactly. Like, does he talk to his mom? Like, what is
there anyone in his life that he can't talk about his work, but does his stress at work come out in other ways?
Yeah.
Like, does he get upset with people? Is he on edge? Is he more sensitive? Like, these emotions have to go somewhere.
Yeah. I feel like this movie
I wanted that.
It was just a listing of, like you said,
facts.
Exposition and facts.
It was all exposition.
And there was no heart, there was no soul.
Yes. I think there were moments of soul. About an hour and a half into this movie, when Dan is fucking fed up with everyone's bullshit, he does start to get a little more, his emotions start to come to the surface.
I think the most soul in this movie was like from John McCain's speech.
Actually, yeah, that speech was pretty moving. Yeah. Everyone looks like they've swallowed a lemon and they're very disapproving of it.
Yes.
That is kind of the face of everyone in this movie. And look, this is not a pleasant material, you know?
It's not. You don't like I don't know who would want to watch this.
I will say, and I said this on the last show. This is the only movie that Adam Driver has been in that I started and didn't finish until this episode. I knew I was going to watch it, and I was like, I'm going to watch the whole thing. But it was like the material is difficult, and so you're being inundated with all these disturbing images of very real things that happen to people that are horrific.
Yep.
The torture. There's a lot of a lot of torture in the first act of this movie. They show it.
Yeah.
And but then there's just long scenes where people are just talking, but there's no, like, there's very little, the emotion is so repressed.
And there's not a lot getting done too. Like the
And they're
whole
just
time is
talking.
they're just talking and
Just talking.
it's it was cut very quickly. Like there are lots of cuts, lots of
Yeah.
fast-paced scenes and stuff, but there's not a lot that happens. There's no journey.
Not emotionally. Like, there is a plot journey, which is that Dan has been tasked with finding out what happened at these camps and whether they were effective. Like, did torture yield real intelligence? Did we get results? That was the whole goal, right?
Yeah.
And he spends 5 years working on this report, and they try to shut him down. They try to prevent the report from being published.
Yeah.
And ultimately it does get published, but it's like, I don't know. I just, oof.
Yeah.
The
like
work that he did was, it was like, we watch movies, I feel like, for the human
to feel
element.
something. That's why I watch things, is to feel something, to feel good, or to feel entertained, or to feel
sad, maybe. I mean, there's
hopeful,
a range.
or
You don't have
or
to
even
feel
sad,
good all the time.
or scared, or
scared. Something. Feel something.
Excited. I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I could touch on maybe some of the themes or questions posed by the movie. I guess that's the best I can do, really. Again, I do feel like Adam definitely brought as much soul as could be done in this movie. It felt a bit like a very dry documentary in the guise of a fiction film.
Yeah. Yes.
That's how it felt. And I love documentaries, but even documentaries to me should have some kind of drama or humanity to them. I don't know that I would have liked this even if it was a documentary.
And I did watch a doc about this, not this
topic,
the investigation, but the Guantanamo Bay, and it was much more visceral and compelling than this.
We watch movies, like, movies have to have some amount of drama and emotion because real life is boring.
Yeah.
So you don't make a movie that's exactly like real life for this very reason.
And you can't think if you add some dramatic lighting and some tense.
The lighting was bland. Everything
music.
Sarah, was the lighting dramatic? It was not. I don't think. It was all very dark. Even the lighting was dark and bland.
Dramatic.
And
like,
the
dark
sets,
is dramatic.
No, I mean, like, everything was, it was lit perfectly adequately for a film, but there was the lighting. It was like, I'm in fluorescence and the lighting is a certain temperature, and like all of the sets were very drab and all the color palette was very drab. Everything was drab.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the movie lacked any kind of life.
Yeah. Lacked life. Exactly.
And I understand that this is not a Chuckalux good time kind of movie. Like, I don't need everything to be like that, but like, I need some kind of art to sustain me long enough to watch this film.
Either that or make it a doc. Like, just, yeah.
I think the subject matter is important. The storytelling didn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
totally
it was
agree.
not the fault of the actors. I think they were doing exactly what they were asked to do.
Yeah.
And I think they did their best. I think that Tim Nelson, who played the doctor or the physician's assistant, like, I think he brought like moments of actual moments of emotion and humanity. The doctor who was like, I don't want to, Like he remember it was early in the film, and he's like, the doctor who left because he was
Yes,
upset.
yes, yes,
That
he did.
guy,
He had emotion. He had yeah.
the torture guys, the torture bros that came up with all the
Like, what the fuck?
contraptions. They were very mustache
They
twirling villain
were.
types.
Like, I was saying, they seemed like villains.
I guess there's like you don't want to portray those guys too sympathetically, but they just seemed like very one-dimensional villains to me.
One-dimensional,
Like
yes.
the scene of them at the end on the plane where they're literally talking about selling the coffin, like
Yeah,
it's so over like maybe that really happened, but it just felt like for a story I was like, shit, we
yeah,
get it, they're evil. They are
yeah,
evil. You
yeah,
don't have to work this hard for
yeah,
me to feel like they're evil. I'm already on board. Like you had me already. You don't have to give me all this.
yeah.
Um, John
Ham.
Ham. I like Ham. I like Ham.
I like ham. I like ham.
I feel like, oh God, and I like Annette Bening. I think Annette Bening was trying. You know
Yeah.
who I really liked
Who?
was that poor woman who I'm not sure the actress's name, but every time it was like there were like 6 scenes that happened exactly this way. Diane Feinstein, played by Annette Bening, says, "We can't do it. We cannot. This is the government. We have to. We're lawful people, and I've got my political career to think of." And then
Yeah.
she storms out, or not storms out because nobody does anything dramatic in this movie. She
Gently backs
very
away.
gently backs away and leaves. And then Dan Jones is like, "What the fucking fuck?" And then this poor woman then has to explain to him, well, politics, what can you do? And he's like, but what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, but the Republicans might. And she's like, try to mitigate the situation. I liked her simply because I feel like I was like, is her entire job to like, clean up the mess? Like Diane Feinstein's like, I'm out. And
Yeah.
then she's just there to finish the conversation. It was so
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah, it was very strange.
I just really liked her a lot because she just seemed that was like her entire job. It was like,
That
well,
was her
Diane
entire role.
left,
Yeah.
and now I need to calm Dan down. That's my job.
Yeah.
Is I'm Dan's handler now. um, I don't know, man. Our country is fucked up.
It is.
This movie didn't leave
Humanity
me
is fucked
feeling
up.
hopeful. I mean,
No.
I guess you could say that. I think humanity has hope because there's a Dan Jones out there
There's a
who's
Dan
willing
Jones.
to risk his career and his life.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but there were a couple moments where I was like, I'm waiting for someone to just drop an anvil on his head. Like he's out there, these long,
Yeah.
wide shots of him walking around DC, and I'm like, is someone going to drop a piano on this guy?
Yeah.
There are Dan Jones people out there who are trying to who want the truth to come out no matter the consequence. And so I think that humanity is not broken, but our government certainly is.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ. The FBI agent at the beginning, the guy who speaks Arabic, who was actually getting people to talk, and they're like, get him out of there because he's FBI, and the CIA, we don't want an FBI guy getting the intelligence we're
And it
supposed to
was
get.
the FBI and the CIA who weren't working together before 9/11 that really caused the miscommunication that occurred that led to it not being stopped.
And the executive branch is straight up ignoring them.
Yeah.
I feel like there was like an attempt in this movie to try to be impartial, and that maybe that's where the lack of emotion came
Was
from.
there an attempt? I feel like there was a lot of bad things said about Republicans.
Well, I mean, they were that Cheney and Rumsfeld.
Well, yes, but I'm just saying I don't think it was impartial. I think it definitely was more.
Well, I guess it seemed. I guess what I mean is not impartial politically, but that they were presenting facts. And you have to make your own determination about these facts.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it felt.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick up on a couple things here that I think this movie, if we want to pick out some things that it's trying to tell us besides facts, would be that sort of the links people will go to, and Dan says this in the car to the reporter, which once I saw him, I was like, oh, Matthew Reyes is here. And he's doing his best as well. The reporter. You may remember him from that episode of Girls. No? Okay.
Nope.
Anyway, Dan says that this all happened because of fear and shame.
Yes.
Because, and that's the truth. Like, what links we'll go to when we are afraid.
I agree, fear and shame, but I also think a lot of it was anger.
Oh, yeah, no,
And
you're right.
vindictiveness.
Yes.
And wanting to make someone pay.
You're right.
And even if those people that they were doing it to weren't the ones who did the terrorist act on 9/11, they wanted to make someone pay.
Yeah. That's fair. And it's like, fortunately, I didn't have anyone that I lost that day. So my fear and sadness and heartache was based on more of the collective experience. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I wouldn't behave that I would behave admirably in a situation where I was deeply hurt and lost people that I loved. But but our government our laws are meant to put us above those type of knee-jerk responses.
Yeah.
You know. So I did feel like I understand why there's so much sex in Game of Thrones, the show, because if you take all the sex scenes out, it's really just this movie and some dragons. Sex and dragons. You got to have the sex and dragons. If there were more sex and dragons in this movie, I think maybe it would have been more enjoyable.
Speaking of sex.
What?
Are we going to get to the moments of thirst, or do we need to wrap things up?
Oh my God. No. You're like done. You don't want to talk about this movie anymore. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well,
no, we will talk about the moments of thirst.
What is there left to say about it?
That's a good point. You know what? There's one last thing I want to say or ask you.
Okay.
So John Hamm says when they're trying to decide whether to release that report or not, John Hamm, who's something CIA guy. I couldn't really keep track of everyone. He says democracy is messy. So I just wanted to know what your response to that is.
Yeah, what he was basically saying, like, if we go after the Republicans about this, they're going to come after us in the next administration about this and this and this. And it's like, well, how does that end though? Like, they're going to play dirty. Like it would be better to do this than to do nothing, because they're going to come at you if you do this or not.
You know what it really made me think about was how at the time that this was occurring, where they were like, with this report was coming out and the idea was like, let's not let this happen again. Let's not be these people again. It wasn't too long after that Trump got elected. And I feel like whatever I thought was the worst, and maybe we won't even find out the worst of it yet. I think it'll be years before we find out the worst of what happened during that era. It's like Guantanamo Bay, kids being detained in cages. It's like, where does it end?
Mm-hmm. It doesn't. Humanity is fundamentally flawed.
Or power structures are flawed. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It definitely made me feel like, okay, well, I'm glad there's people out there trying to have oversight, but it's like there's so but there's but so many everybody feels like they're doing what they have to do. They're doing whatever it takes.
Yep.
But at what cost, you know? At what cost? I don't know. So in the end, the report does get published.
Yeah.
And then we have a long shot of Dan just
Walking into the
walking
distance.
walking into the distance. He left that job a year
I would
after the
too.
report came out. I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd be like, you know what, I've given you enough. Do you know what he did after?
No, I don't. Do you?
I do. So I've got a
Did he
little.
write a book or something?
So he left the Senate in 2015, or yeah, so he left
Pre-Trump.
before pre-Trump, yeah. He founded organizations, received a fellowship at Harvard, and continued speaking out about the report. He is now president of the Penn Quarter Group, or at least he was when this article came out, which I believe was around the time the movie was released in 2019. An investigative firm that provides consulting, research, and global investigative services to businesses, law firms, public policy organizations, nonprofits, and individuals. He also founded a nonprofit called Advanced Democracy, which played a role in alerting law enforcement to suspicious websites that were trying to influence elections in other countries. And he's also a fellow at the Carr Center for Human Rights Policy at Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. So it sounds like he decided that I think exposing human rights violations was important to him, and he stuck with that. So
Yeah.
somewhere out there, Dan is working with, hopefully working with others to fight the good fight and help us retain a little bit of our humanity. Anyway, final thoughts on the report.
It's an important subject that should be discussed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think making this film was the right way to do it.
Would you so my final thoughts on this movie are, yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add to that. The subject matter is important. The movie was not executed in a compelling way. It was filled with incredible actors who gave rather bland performances considering how good
Mhm.
they are.
Yep.
And I think Adam did what he was asked to do, which was, I think, to, keep a lot of stuff inside. There were moments where that emotion came out, and those moments were great and very
Yeah.
well. Something I liked a lot. And again, I'm not just talking about this like, oh, this is, I need to see him do something sexy. It's more like I just wanted to see some emotion, some some feelings, some humanity, some conflict. And there was some of that when it came out. It was like, oh, thank God, there's a person in there. And I think more of it came out in the last act of the film. The last act was I don't know if it's because we took a break and I watched the rest of it today. Maybe that made it a little more palatable for me. But again, I think, Adam did a fine job with what he had. The whole movie was just very detached, and it made me feel like I wanted to detach from it. Would you recommend this film to a fan of Adam Driver's work?
No.
Wow, so no.
He didn't do his thing. There was nothing Adam about it.
I don't think he needs to be Adam with a capital A in every movie, though. He doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but there was literally no aspect of. For me, it was
Okay.
like anyone could have done the exact same performance that he did.
I don't agree with that. I think that he still brought himself to it. I just think it was muted. Like, his performance is usually this really beautiful color palette. And sometimes those colors are red and orange and very aggressive, and other times they're blue and green and, a little more gentle, cooler colors. And this performance, for the most part, was very gray, much like the movie was very gray, and much like the dialogue was very gray. I just think the movie was very muted, and it muted him as an actor. and that was the style, and I just didn't care for it. But I do. Would another actor have given the same performance? Maybe another actor would have been even more boring, Sarah. I didn't find him to be boring. I want to say I found the movie to be boring. When he was on screen, I actually did feel like, okay, well, at least I'm watching a great actor. He's not. It's not my favorite of his performances, but I still think he's a great actor.
I mean, yeah,
But that's my
they're all
opinion.
great.
Yeah.
Michael C. Hall is in this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
yeah.
and you are, if you think that anybody could have done that role, that is absolutely your opinion, and your that's valid. Just for me, I feel like if there had been another actor in this movie, it might have been even more painful to watch for me if it had not
Yeah.
been Adam Driver. There was a lot of stuff in there somewhere. Okay. Would I recommend this to a fan of Adam Driver's work? I don't know. If you got nothing else to watch, maybe watch some GIFs. There's a lot of Dan Jones GIFs out there. Maybe watch those. I didn't personally enjoy the movie. I can't recommend it for that reason, just because I didn't like it. It was unpleasant or boring. There was no other emotions I felt for the most part. Okay. Are you ready for some moments of thirst?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I don't remember who went first last time.
Well,
Do you
you can
want?
go
Okay.
first. Yeah.
Now, despite the fact that this movie was very boring, I did find a lot of moments of thirst. I think I was looking for thirst just to feel something. So I have a bunch. Is that okay?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
First of all, Adam in a suit. I like it. I like Adam in a suit. So that was nice. You know, I like a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
I liked his short hair. It was kind of dorky, and I was into it. You're shaking your head.
His hair reminded me of like a boarding school child from like the turn of the 20th century.
He was like a Boy Scout.
It was like a little boy haircut.
Okay, I didn't think of him as a little boy, but I did think it was very like dorky and
dorky, yes.
And that brings me to my next point. Dan Jones is a huge nerd, and I am horny for nerds.
Mm-hmm.
So the nerdiness, the fact that every time somebody tried to counter him with an opinion, and he had like a paragraph of facts about something, the fact that the way that he was able to memorize all the information he read, that was hot. I am horny for nerds. I thought it was really hot when he stole the documents. I don't know what that says about me.
Did he steal them?
Well, he relocated them. But something about him taking the documents, and then he almost stole the documents again and gave them to the reporter guy. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Something about him like taking those documents and putting them in the safe. It was all very illicit. And I was into that. I liked it when he got angry.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes, feel something. I'm feeling something while you're yelling. I like it. Keep yelling. And I think that's it. I think that's my. Oh, the last thing was just like his commitment to everything, like the character. Like he was committed to this, and he believed strongly in it, and he had conviction, and I found his conviction to be very sexy. And those are my moments of thirst.
Okay. I found no moments of thirst in this. Like this was like a sexless film for me.
So wow. So this was like if you were trying to not get in the mood.
Yes.
You would put this on.
Like, yeah, if I want to fall asleep, put this
is
on.
this is just like And what is the whatever the opposite of what are the an aphrodisiac? This is
Yeah,
like the opposite of that for you.
no prodisiac. I don't know.
Nothing? Not even the suits, Sarah?
I don't
Nothing?
care about suits. I don't care about
Okay.
clothes. Clothes
Okay.
don't
Okay.
do anything
Okay.
for me.
All right, fair. Fair.
Um,
If there had been a
yeah,
deleted scene where he was like maybe playing with a puppy in the park though,
maybe, yeah.
maybe.
I would say that if I did have to pick moments of thirst, it would be memories of Michael C. Hall and Dexter, and memories of John Hamm and Mad Men, and memories of Adam Driver and Star Wars. Like looking at their faces in this movie, I was like, remember how hot they were on that show?
So your moments of thirst were just you thinking about other films while you were watching this film.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
As you would imagine, I'm normally up for pretty much anything in the bedroom, but I can't tell if what happened was weird or sexy.
Okay. Adam and Randy trivia.
Yes. So I
let's
actually
get into some
found
trivia.
it's not going to be a question. It's just
Oh.
something interesting that I found about the movie.
So you're going to hit me with some trivia.
I was looking up trivia, and almost all of the trivia for this movie is not about this movie. It's about the actual events.
Okay.
But this piece of trivia was just like, wow. So
Oh.
just before filming commenced, the film's original plan's original plan of a 50-day schedule was cut to a 26-day schedule, and its $18 million budget was slashed to just $8 million.
What the fuck?
Hence, as director Scott Burns stated, all the actors, including Adam Driver, were paid next to nothing on this project.
So by nothing, they just mean scale.
Probably.
Yeah. Wow. So this was a real passion project for everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, I think the subject matter is important. I just don't think the film was compelling. And listen, maybe we got this wrong. Tweeted us, Adam at AdamAndyPod.
I've seen a lot of great reviews about it. Like,
it
people
didn't do
like
it for me. It
didn't.
Boring. But if you disagree, I found Adam to be as compelling as he was allowed to be in this movie, and hot as usual. So at least it had that going for it for me. Sarah, it didn't do anything for Sarah at all.
He's gonna need to be in that hair for me to get all hot.
Oh, so you just want him wearing that hair from now on?
That's his real hair, right?
I think so.
He grew it out.
I guess. I don't know.
He had to.
Well, thank you for that piece of trivia. That's fucking insane.
Isn't that insane?
Wow.
Oh, you look awesome. Come the fuck upstairs.
Okay.
But wait, I have to warn you about something.
What?
If you come up here, I'm gonna tie you to my bed and keep you for at least 3 days. I'm just in that kind of mood.
Okay, well, this would ordinarily be the time when we are going to spin the wheel. But instead, I got I wanted a little check-in. We'll check in with the audience. So Sarah and I, we're taking a vacation. Both of us simultaneously, not together. Although
crazy.
Why don't we
together?
We should.
We really should.
Could we?
We can.
All right, we should. You're hearing it now, listeners. Sarah and I are going to take a vacation together, but not this time.
No.
So Sarah and I are both going on vacation and taking just a little break. So we're actually so this episode will be coming out because you're going to be leaving. Well, you're about to move as well, so you got a lot going on. So this episode will be coming out I think the last week in July. And ordinarily another episode will be coming out a week or so after that, but we're going to take a little break. The next time you hear from us, we'll be covering the Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 8 premiere. So we're going to talk about the Brooklyn Nine-Nine season 8 premiere, and so that'll be in a couple weeks. I guess that episode will be out on the August 25th. So it's going to be a couple weeks. Maybe a month-ish before you hear from us, but we'll still be on social media. You can still talk to us. We'll be sharing our thoughts about whatever comes up on the internet. So you can always find us on Twitter at AdamAndyPod. You can yell at us if you thought that The Report was a great movie and we just didn't see it.
I'm gonna be like, fuck you guys.
Please let us know what you think.
Nicole and Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we just don't get it. Maybe.
Yeah.
So you can tweet at us at AdamAndyPod. Or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Adam and Andy Podcast. So we'll still be there, but we're just going to take a little break from recording to go on vacation. When we come back, we will be talking about the Brooklyn Nine-Nine Season 8 premiere. Annette is going to be coming out, so we'll be talking about Annette next time when we come back. And also, Sarah, we're going to be doing a live recording.
A live one.
With an audience.
Real people right in front of us, making us more self-conscious about what we're saying.
It's going to be group thirst. It's going to be a shared thirst. So if you are in the Atlanta area, that's where we live. We are going to be doing a live recording. I will announce the date. I'm not announcing it today. We will tell you about it more in the next recording, but also if you on social media, there'll be plenty of announcements about when we are going to be doing this live show. It's going to be at Dynamic El Dorado, the comedy theater in Atlanta, in Old Fourth Ward, Atlanta. So please come out and join us for the live recording. So we would love to meet some of our listeners. That would be awesome. So if you live in Atlanta, please do come to the show. More information will be coming soon about that. I can't even tell you what is the film we're watching, Sarah?
It is Midnight Special.
We're going to be watching Midnight Special, so that's why I came off the wheel. Because we're going to be watching Midnight Special, and we're going to do a live recording with an audience. I'm super fucking pumped about that.
Yes.
And all of this is going to be happening within the next month. So we'll miss you. The show will miss you guys while we take a short break for a couple of weeks. But don't worry, we're going to be back. And when we come back, we're going to be coming back strong
and hard.
Strong and hard. We're going to be coming back strong and hard.
Yes, just like Adam's arms.
Oh, Sarah. Okay. Well, listeners, thank you for joining us for this. I hope was not too much of I hope we weren't too negative about this movie. I tried, you guys. I tried to find the light at the end of the tunnel. It didn't do it for me. But thank you for listening to the show. Reach out to us on social media. Tell us what you thought about the episode or the movie, or if you've got any suggestions. And I don't know. Have sex with someone just to feel something after you watch the report.
Feel it.
That's what I recommend. If you watch the report just to listen to the show, I prescribe that you now go have sex with someone just to feel something.